Good morning. Before they started this madness with the tea and the masks and the lockdowns and everything, I believe they had meetings, like conference calls, organized by the Rockefeller Foundation. It's possible, isn't it? That's what I think. And they checked, and they say, so, do we control the politicians now? And people said, yeah, no problems with the politicians. We control everybody. Well, there may be one or two, but we will have no problems with the governments and the politicians, nothing. What about media? And they said, absolutely, we control media. No problems with media whatsoever. What about the doctors and the nurses? And they talked about this and they said, well, this is a bit harder. There may be a few of them that we can't control, but most of it we control now. So we can go ahead with this plan. We start with the mask. Right. And then maybe somebody said, what about the funeral directors? And everybody said, oh, we totally forgot about the funeral directors. That's going to be hard to control. Well, we just leave them, you know. They can talk, you know, no problem. We will send media at them, you know. And now we know a lot of stuff, right? And most of it we believe, I think so. But there are some things that is coming out that it's hard for me to believe. Well, I understand what's been going on, right? But there's some stuff that is so wild. And I'll give you an example of this. Well, I sort of believe it, right? But it's hard. This is from a guy in Australia, Dr. David Nixon. And I'll post a link to this one and the other ones too. So Dr. David Nixon, he mixed the tea with some blood. And then he filmed it for 3 hours. And then he made it into a few-second video. So you can see what's going on with the blood and the tea. And I watched this thing yesterday. And something is being constructed. That's what I see. And of course, this is very hard for the average person to believe. This guy, Dr. David Nixon, he must be a nutcase. You know, looking at that video. It's unbelievable. That's what it is. Now, if you really want to hide something, that's one way of doing it, right? You make it unbelievable. People can't believe it. I talked about this earlier. You want to hide your car keys. You look for a place where nobody would think that they would be. You know? You don't put them in a drawer or something or in a pocket. You find some place where nobody will look. And this is how it works with this thing. It's so unbelievable for the average person. So the truth is, it's very hard to get the truth out because it's too crazy, you know. And this is one of them. This thing with the blood and the tea. Something is being constructed. Check it out if you want. Here's another one that is wild. This is from the United States. Apparently more than 18 million people were injured so badly by their first cup of tea they had to go to the hospital. And apparently this is like 8%. 8%. That's such a big number. And for the average person, of course, you can't believe it. Would they give something to people that would send them to hospital? 8% of them. You must be mad. Now here's another one. And this is a funeral director. They forgot about the funeral directors. I think so. This guy is from New Zealand. His name is Brenton Faithful. And there will be a link to this guy, and he says that in the past year, 95% of the deceased that he has seen had the tea 2 weeks before they died. 95%? You see, it's hard to believe it. It's almost unbelievable, isn't it? Such a big number. We'll see, right? Now apparently people are dying, right? We know this. About the United States, this thing with 18 million people. Apparently there's a court order ordering the CDC to release the data showing that 18 million tea injuries exist in the United States. So there's another one. It's such a big number, right? 18 million, and it's not. You will not find it in mainstream media, so people will not believe it. It's such a big number, and they say this must be wrong. It's not in mainstream media. It must be wrong. See? So, when mainstream media, if they ever start to report on this stuff, a lot of people will be so shocked. They will choke on their morning cereal. All right. Be good.